Okay, it is May 30. It's Thursday, May 30, and I've taken two trades and I am done for the day. And let me get into a little bit about what I did today, show you everything. Okay, this morning, okay, I was watching, we'd sold out hard overnight at 3 a.m. the London Open. Things started coming back up. Okay, this is a 15-minute chart, by the way. I'll just focus on that for right now. 15-minute chart, things were coming up. I kind of turned it on somewhere around 6 o'clock a.m. New York time. I was watching here when it did this sort of a double bottom against the 15-minute EMA, and then had a really nice reaction, a really nice spike right there. So that was interesting, but it's low volume, so I usually don't trade that time, but I did notice that. The other one that I noticed very well is that I noticed that there was a pivot right here, right? And I was like, okay, so if price comes back down to that and has maybe something else supporting it, that might be a good trade. So I was kind of keeping an eye on things right here. And the other thing we had right there was a fib level, a 50% retracement fib level, because if you put your fib box from the wick high or the swing high to the swing low, what do you find? Well, it bounces exactly it off the 50% level. So I knew that that was going to be a good trade, but again, it's just early, right? And when it's early, you can't really be sure that things are really going to move very well. So it did. It was very choppy on the way up, but it did prove to be a good combo of a pivot and a 50% fib retrace level right there. I'll show that to you. I'll circle that right there. Let me see here. I'll circle this one right here if I can, and then I'll globalize it, and then I'll show it to you on this one. Okay, so here we are. So there you see it. There's a 50% retrace. I didn't global. Yeah, is that it? Something's not. Something's not right. Something's not right. 8 o'clock. Yeah, that's the right one. How come it's not showing up? Oh, there we go. Sorry, did the wrong one. Okay, there we go. So yeah, as you can see, there's your 50% level right there. Da da da, ba ba da, 50%. Price came right down to it, and it was a pivot, right, from here. So no big surprise. It was a great place for a buy. I did not buy it, but you could have bought it and rode it up quite nicely to all the way up to the 100% level, back up to the highs. So that was a good trade. Okay, so but my gig right now. I'm waiting until 10:15, 10:30 to trade. That's my favorite time to trade. And so what I was doing was I was trying to get the big picture that so I could see what was going to happen right around 10 o'clock, 10:30. And what I kind of envisioned happening was, and you got to get that, we didn't have this yet. Sorry, we didn't have this yet. We were kind of right about here, right? And we're just kind of 4-hour chart here. You can see that the trend is definitely we broke some support here. A big push down here at yesterday's last couple hours of yesterday, last few hours of yesterday. And so there was some news, and it did cause things to pop a little bit. But guess what? It's popping right up into 4-hour cloud resistance. It's popping right up into. It was popping right up into. So anyway, let me see it. See that? All right. We were right about here when I was like kind of analyzed for the 10 o'clock hour what was going to happen, and to me it just had that look of just wanting to roll. I'll put it back on the 4-hour here and show you the next candle. Well, it is the down candle. Anyway, I just had that sense that it wanted to roll. It kind of did this big spike down, and that was my first trade at the open. Actually, I can show you that one. And that one kind of also was a precursor of things to come. It was kind of an ominous thing that happened at the open. It was a huge spike down at the open right here. See, was it? Yeah, it was right here. There was a really big spike down. Now, one of the things about this level was that I checked over here and I saw that there was a pivot over here, kind of like right in this zone right here. I hope this is not getting too boring, but this is how I trade, and just want to show you everything I'm doing here. So I saw this, and I figured, that's a pivot area right there. So I figured that if it came down to that area, it would have a hard time going through it, a really tough time going through it. And so one of the things I've noticed is that at 9:37 a.m., there's typically a trade. I don't know why that is. Maybe traders love the number 37 or superstitious or whatever. So not only did I have this huge spike down coming into this pivot area that I marked from over here, but I saw, and again, it's a 15-second candle, so you can't read too much into it, but where these dojis happen is important. So this doji happened right inside my pivot area, and it's 9:37. Okay, I took that trade. Okay, I took that trade right here, and I decided I was going to hold it for until I saw a red candle. Well, here's a red candle, but it was a buyer's wick, so I should have held it, but I did sell it up here, and I made about $2,500 on that one. I could have made more, I should have made more, but I didn't, because I was just holding for red. It was a very fast scalp, very high risk trade because it was at the open. It was a bounce play, which picking bottoms is never good. But I had a feeling about it since it was 9:37 and we had this doji, and basically it was a huge push down to a pivot area which I had picked up on over here. These two pivots right here. Okay, so there was that. Then I'm like, okay, I'm waiting till 10:15. I'm just gonna wait till 10:15, 10:30 now, because basically what it then happened is that we went into a chop zone, and if you look at this, you can see what a freaking mess this is right here, right? I mean, have you seen anything choppier than that? I haven't. But at 10 o'clock, okay, we broke out of that chop, okay. At 10 o'clock sharp, we broke out of the chop. We had a nice push down, okay? Really nice push down. I'm like, okay, maybe this is a foreshadowing of things to come. So if you look at it on the 15, and this is how I'm looking at these things these days, I'm like, okay, well, actually, if you look at it on the 4 hour and the 1 hour, you can say, okay, all right, maybe things are starting to roll over. Because, like, look, this 4 hours right up into its cloud, right? And you had a tightening candle body, and you had wicks above and wicks below, okay? If you look at it on the 1 hour, okay, you can kind of see that we put in a double top in that area, right? It was push down, push back up, push another push down with a huge spike down. So I'm like, okay, maybe, just maybe, we are going to do something to the downside here. And what I said was, okay, typically what you'll see, so that 10, sorry, all right, here is the 10 o'clock candle. Okay, that 10 o'clock candle which I just showed you, which put it in a big push down, that's an extension candle. So typically what you're going to see is you're going to see extension, contraction, extension. Okay, extension, contraction, extension, contraction. So I'm like, okay, if we got a 10 o'clock extension, that means we might get a 10:15 contraction, which means we might get a 10:30 expansion candle. Okay, so I'm like waiting to see if that's going to happen, if we're going to get a contraction candle. Now, one of the things about a contraction candle is typically you'll get wicks above and wicks below. Okay, kind of oftentimes it's pretty even sized wicks above and wicks below. And if you can, let me just kind of clear that thing out again here. You can kind of see that's exactly what we got here. There's the wick below, there's the wick above, okay? So I'm measuring this as we're going, okay? And I'm kind of in the flow here, kind of making sure that I got this just right here. And it did go up a little bit at the end, right? But now I'm on my 15-second chart, and I'm putting my fib levels in, and I'm like, okay, we want to make sure that we catch the top before 10:30 because we want to measure this exactly right. But for right now, and I was looking at this right now, it looks like what's going to happen is that the entry is going to be about 18,706.50. The stop's going to be above this level, 726.50. It's going to be a 20-point stop. The target is going to be 18,677, okay, or just above that. So I knew all that going into it because of what I was seeing here. My bias was that it was rolling over based on the 4 hour chart and the 1 hour chart, just the way it looked and the resistance it was running into and the overall downtrend that was in. even though it was in an short-term uptrend, 4 hour, 2 green 4 hour candles. I still said, okay, this resistance, this is going to be tough, and more than likely it might just roll over. So I saw that. I saw this double top in the same area on the 1 hour, went to the 15-minute, saw that huge push down at 10 o'clock, saw the contraction candle forming, decided that if the contraction candle would offer levels that I liked and price action reacted to those levels in a certain way, then I would get short with a right around 18,706 with a target 18,677. So anyway, that's what happened. Okay, 10:30 rolls around. The contraction candle was still it was still intact. It was still a contraction candle, even though it was green, which I don't like, but that's okay. As long as it goes down, it gives me a pattern. So the pattern that I was looking for was a back test of this reversal zone. The reversal zone technically is, really you can look at it two ways. Technically, it's this area between these two levels, and that's the 50 and the 61.5. But you can also expand that to be between these two levels, which is the, it's not wrong to expand it to between the 0.786 and the 0.382, as long as it gives you a pattern that's worth trading. Now on shorts, you can go with one pullback and get in. With longs, you really need two. You really need a double bottom for confirmation. With shorts, people love selling and they'll sell quick. So if you're not quick, you're probably going to miss. So I'm okay with one pullback. I'm okay as long as that held the expanded reversal area. I was okay with that. So I went ahead and saw this and had good volume. And I'm like, okay, I'm in. So I got in at 706. I believe it was 706.50. No, actually, I got in at 713. I got in up here at 713, right here at the bottom of the smaller, tighter reversal zone. Okay, got in right there, and my target was set for. My stop was set above here. My target was right here, 18,678. So here's what happened. Here's how I messed this up. Okay, I did mess this up pretty bad. What happened was it just came down. It came flying down. I'm like, I can't even believe how well this is working. It got to this area, right? And then it got to this area. I'm like, okay, I'm going to move my stop up to 706. Okay, that means I need to right click 706 on my trading dome so that I have a buy stop order. What did I do? I left clicked, meaning it's a buy limit order, meaning buy now, don't pay more than 706, right? So I bought here at 693 and a quarter, lost my last 14 points, which cut my profit basically in half and screwed it all up. Now, how's that for great analysis and piss poor execution? That's what happened. So next time, right click to change the stop, buy stop, not limit stop, and just do it better next time. But everything else worked out. So okay, today's take was 670. It always happens when I want to show you that. Why does that always do that? Anyway, 673. I don't even know what happened to that. It's gone. 673 per account. That's $6,700 for 10 accounts. And that's all I got for you today. Sorry for the crazy video, but I was pretty excited about it. Okay, take care.